Hello folks, Jason Chrisman, JC's Bees, Central Ohio beekeeper. And wow, I tell you, after about 6-7 days of nothing but rain, we finally have a nice day and the bees are flying. I want to apologize for not having a video last week. I'm getting to the age now where my back's starting to bother me a lot, and the last 2 weeks my back has been giving me fits. Having problems. Here's the problem I have. Let me explain it to you. I'm 43 years old, and in my mind I still think I'm 25. So here on the farm I go about things as a 25-year-old, and then it hits me. Wham! You're not 25, you're 43. Now you gotta lay down in bed for a couple weeks and let your, come on little bee, let your body recuperate. And luckily we have what's called a TENS unit, which sends electrical pulses. You put these pads on your achy part, which is my lower back, and you're able to adjust electrical pulse, and that has helped me quite a bit. And just a couple days ago I had an appointment with my chiropractor, finally got in, and he was able to snap me back in place, and we're gonna keep this going for a little while, a few weeks. I'm gonna make weekly visits to my chiropractor. He's going to make some adjustments, and he explained to me, and it makes perfect sense, that when your back goes out like that, your muscles adjust, and then they've got to work on what's called muscle memory. Your muscles aren't used to your back being put in place where it should be, and it'll very easily pop back out. So for the next few weeks I'll be going to the chiropractor, and I told the chiropractor, you know, about 6 months ago I did some physical therapy. And during that physical therapy, they taught me some exercises. And one of the exercises they taught me, or stretches, is called the McKenzie stretch. And basically it's like a push-up, but you leave your hip on the floor and you just bring up your top part of your body. And what that does is it helps push the nerve back in that's pinched between your vertebrae, and gives you a lot of relief. This particular back pain I'm experiencing has been sending sharp jabbing pains into my legs. It's been pretty brutal, so very thankful to be feeling better the last couple days, and that's why we're here today shooting this lovely video. And what I want to share today is my entrances, my tube entrances. I've had a lot of people ask, how are those entrances work? Are you seeing less hive beetles in the hives, or any at all? So we're going to take a quick look at that today. So let's dive right in and get started. But before we get started, I'd like to throw a little reminder out. If you like my videos and you haven't subscribed, please take a second to go down below the video and hit that subscribe button. And when you do, make sure you click on the little bell so you can get notified when I release new videos. Now let's dive in. So the first thing I want to note is that the bees are having no problems entering these tubes. None at all. The one disturbance I have noticed is that on this colony, as you can see, I've got 3 of these entrances. The one on the far side of the screen over here only has 2. It has one on the bottom and one up high. That is a little bit of a problem. So what I need to do is come up with a better design where I can have at least 3 of these tube entrances at the bottom and maybe 3 at the top. That's the only downside I can see to this. Just making sure you have plenty of entrance holes. You see, what happens is they seem to favor one of the tubes, and that one gets a lot of traffic, as you're going to notice here on this center tube. But other than that, no problems. Now over here on this one, we go over here and take a quick look. The one that only has 2 entrances, they are making it work, but I wonder how much it's slowing down production. Now if we look at the inside of this colony, there's their top box sitting back there on the ground. They have yet to really do anything on the inside of it, but this package or box here is full, and these are my package bees. So what I want to do now is I want to go through here and check a few frames, see if I see any beetle action at all. And I'm going to tell you, as full as that box is, beetle really don't stand much of a chance. But we'll take a quick look and see. Okay, so here's frame 1. Very well drawn out. This was just coated in wax not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, and you can see they've already drawn it out, which is great. Great news. This is one of the Sericell frames. You'll notice that it has cell holes all the way around the outside of the frame. And last year, I noticed they were laying some brood in these holes, which was rather interesting. I'm going to set this frame off to the side. And we'll move through here rather quickly. I'm not going to check the whole box, just check a few frames, see how things are looking. This is another one of those Sericell frames. Got some brood in the center. We got some open larvae on the outside of the brood, and a little bit of nectar and some pollen. Same over here. With the lack of brood, I guess. Nice comb, some pollen, and some nectar. Nice big frame of brood. Looks like we got a nice queen in here. Got a nice brood pattern. And I've said this many times before, but I'm going to say it again for you new beekeepers that are following me. If you're wondering when you should feed your bees, check a couple frames of brood, and on those brood frames, make sure there is some food. Here we've got some pollen, lots of pollen, very little nectar on it, but there is some food. On this side, we've got some pollen, and we've got some nectar up in this corner. And go to the next frame, we'll check it. Another brood frame. We got pollen up here. We got some wet nectar down in here. And over here they're putting nectar in on this corner. So what I was going to say is, if you pull out a brood frame and there's no food on it, yeah, you better be feeding. Bees like to keep food sources close to the brood so they're able to feed it. I tell you folks, I'm not seeing any signs of hive beetles. These bees are straight up thriving. And one of the best ways to keep beetles away, hive beetles, is a strong colony. You keep your colony strong, beetles don't stand a chance. So, is it that the bees are just strong enough to manage keeping the beetles away? Or is it that the entrances are making the difference and therefore the hive is able to thrive? Which is it, I wonder? Well, the little bit of experience I have with hive beetles, and last year they were a nightmare. Got a lot of brood about to be capped here on this frame. Down here on this end we've got some capped, but most of it is uncapped, ready to be capped, and yeah, looking good. I would think that since this was a package, when I installed the package, it was a 3-pound package, they may have covered 4 frames, maybe 5 frames in this box. And now you can see every frame is covered with bees. So I have to think that the entrances that I've been using since I've installed these packages are making a difference. Because when they were only 4 frames, beetles had their opportunity to move in. Why did they not? Could it have been it was too cool? It was too early in the spring? Maybe. Could it be the entrances? That's what I wonder. And it's going to be hard to confirm that, you know, the entrance is done at all, but what I'm seeing I really like. Got some drones, Yeah, everything looks good, folks. You check one more frame. Now, I have a lot of people ask me, where'd you get that hive tool? This is the best hive tool I've found in 11 years of beekeeping, right here. And it can be purchased on Amazon. There's a link down in the video description if you are interested. Heavy frame. Completely covered in bees. Cap brood, looks like drone brood maybe. I see lots of drones on there. Let's check this other side. Big old queen cell right there I don't really want to deal with. You see that big old queen cell? It's right here. Let me use my fingers to make these bees move. So I'm going to have to take this frame out at the very least and move it to a nuke, make a split. So if I'm going to do that, I might as well find another decent frame to put in the split. Lots of eggs, lots of nectar. About this side, lots of nectar. So if I want to give that split a really good thriving chance, I would like to give it a frame that has lots of brood and some food sources. That way I don't have to feed them immediately. This in here has got a nice big patch of cap brood and a lot of brood that's about to be capped. On this side we got a nice big patch of brood and lots of pollen. So I think this is the frame I'm going to use. I'll use the one with the queen cell and this frame and make a split. Wasn't my intentions today, but bees don't always work around your plans. Trust me. So what I'll do is I'll leave this frame against the edge and I'll put my two new frames that I'm going to replace in that spot there. We'll go ahead and stick this frame here back in its spot. This is the very first frame I took out, but I'm going to put it right here. So now I'm going to have to stop, go throw those into a nuke, and get my frames back in here. Okay, so I got me a couple frames to replace what I took. Here's a nice drawn comb. Got a little bit of wax moth damage here, but I think the bees will fix all that. We'll give them time and see how that works out. And got an old frame that was overwintered in a colony that died. Got a little bit of mold and mildew on it, but the bees will clean all that up. So we'll stick it right here. I think I'll do it the other way. Now I'm going to throw the top box back on. inner cover. So there you go. I took this one colony here and I made a split. Now that split's going to need moved, or at least set up on something. But I'll tell you folks, I've been seeing a lot of swarming on Facebook and the Ohio Beekeepers group. So if you're not watching for swarm cells, your bees are going to swarm on you and you're going to lose half of them. So you need to keep a close eye on them and make sure you keep an eye open for them swarm cells. And if you see some, do as I just did. Take that frame out, grab another frame, throw them in a nuke, and hey, in a couple weeks you'll have another colony. Pretty simple. Okay, so what you can see I did was I moved the nuke to the back row. There was an empty spot there, so that should be a good placement for them. Now in the next couple weeks, I expect that queen to emerge from the cell and start thinking about mating flights, so I'll be keeping an eye open for that. As far as these entrances, I do think there's something to it. As I explained in the video though, I can't say for sure at this point that it's the entrances doing all the difference, but I believe that it has a major part in why I am not seeing any activity from beetles of any kind. So I'm very glad of that, because you know, you can buy this pipe relatively cheap. Let me take this thing off. My slip-on veil. Oh, getting hot. Time for the sweater to go. A little cool this morning to start the day. The slip-on veil also listed down in the video descriptions. Not this exact one, but one real similar to it. This one was made overseas, so you wouldn't want to pay the expense to have this one shipped to you. But anyway, folks, I do think that these pipe entrances are making a difference. It's just going to be playing with trying to get more of these entrances per hive. And let me explain that a little bit more right now. On this colony, you can see that the 3 entrances are in the bottom. They're actually entering in on the bottom board, just like any of your big colonies that have the entrance reducer. That's where the entrance reducer would slide, is right in this position. This is where your entrance reducer would go on during the winter. So all I did was take a 3/4 inch wide board, measured the length, and then drilled holes in it for this pipe to fit in it. Now let me tell you, a 3/4 inch gap and almost a 3/4 inch pipe, you don't have much board holding the sides of this together once you drill the hole in. So that's the downside to this. Sure, they make this in a smaller size, but I don't want to reduce the entrance any more than I already have. So to come and just drill 3 holes in my boxes, not really wanting to do that. As you can see, I've got a hole here, an entrance, that I really need to just either plug off or put a piece of piping in there. And that's probably what I'll end up doing. I need to make it more round and put a piece of tubing in there, or PEX pipe. And you can buy this PEX pipe by the feet relatively cheap compared to some of the other options on the market to controlling these hive beetles. So it's something to think about. So if you have any questions or comments on this video, leave them down below. I'd like to invite you again to subscribe to my channel if you have not. You can do that down below via the subscribe button. Just make sure you click on the little bell so that you get notified when I release new videos. I'd also, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you'd throw me a thumbs up. That'll help boost it in the YouTube search ranks and make it easier for other beekeepers to find. I'd also like to invite you over to my Patreon page and check out some of the content over there. And if you enjoy this content and you would like to see it keep coming, some support would be greatly appreciated. I have some Patreons over there that are now supporting me, and I am very, very appreciative of them. That helps keep this content coming on a weekly basis. You don't really think that it would be too time consuming to do these videos every week, but it is. And not just recording them, but but I have to take this footage back now and edit it, which will take a good hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then I've got to upload it. And out here in the... Little girl, go away. Out here where I live, the internet is very slow, so it'll take the rest of the day to upload this video. And then after it gets uploaded, I have to go in and add my description, my tags, my title. So there's a lot to it that a lot of people don't think about. And I tell you, after a week of rain, what do you want to do? Do you want to sit in the house on the computer and edit videos, or would you like to be out and about enjoying the rest of your day? Well, that's kind of where I'm at. I got to juggle things. It's been rainy all week. I could be out doing stuff, but because I enjoy these videos and I enjoy helping others, I'm going to spend my next couple hours sitting on my computer in the house. It's just how it is. So if you enjoy these videos and you'd like to see them keep coming, please go over to Patreon, throw me some support. It'd be appreciated. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next Sunday. Thanks for watching JC's Bees.